Hello everybody and welcome to another video, and I'm quite excited for today. As you might have seen from the thumbnail or the just title of the video, it is a new track by Skynd. Now I'm very excited about this because, as we all know, I've followed Skynd quite closely since I first reacted to I can never remember the name of the first track I looked at, but ever since the first track I looked at on this channel, I've followed them quite extensively. I've really enjoyed their music, and as I've mentioned a couple of times in previous videos, I'm going to be seeing them at Bloodstock next weekend. In fact, next Thursday, so in a little under a week from now, I'm actually going to see Skynd live, so I'm very excited for that. So for them to release a new track just before I go and see them is absolutely brilliant, and we're looking at a track today called Robert Hansen. Now, as normal, their songs are all about like serial killers and that sort of thing, so I had to look up who this Robert Hansen was, and what I found is that Robert Christian Hansen, from Estherville, Iowa, born in February 15th, 1939, known in the media as the Butcher Baker. He was an American serial killer between 1971 and 1983. Hansen had abducted, raped and murdered at least 17 women in and around the Anchorage, Alaska area. He hunted many of them down in the wilderness with a Ruger Mini 14 and a knife. He was arrested and convicted in 1983 and was sentenced to 461 years without the possibility of parole. He then died of natural causes in 2014 due to lingering health conditions at the age of 75. So he was quite active. I mean, 17 victims, well, that they know of, I suppose, unless he fully disclosed everybody that he murdered. But yeah, sounds like a rather nasty man. Why he was called the Butcher Baker, I'm not sure why. Maybe he was a baker. It doesn't actually specify in the little bit of information I've got here. I don't want to go too far into it because I imagine there is a whole lot of information going on there. But anyway, so there's the information on who we are looking at. I do have some lyrics here. It is worth noting that I'm actually doing this video on the day that Skynd released it for members of their newsletter. If you subscribe to Skynd's newsletter, you get access to their songs early. So I have some lyrics here. They are submitted by a fan. They are fan submitted lyrics underneath the video on YouTube. So whether they're going to be 100% accurate, I don't know. But we've been quite lucky with most of them. I think there's been one or two where they've been slightly off, but we'll see. Now, I'm not sure exactly what to expect for this, because I mentioned in the last video that we looked at by Skynd that more and more she's using more of her natural singing voice in her songs. When I first looked at them, there was hardly any natural vocal in there at all, and it was mostly all these distorted vocal lines. But as we've progressed on, she seems to be using her natural voice a lot more. So whether we'll get more of her natural voice in this, or whether it'll be a more distorted effects-driven vocal, I don't know. So we'll just jump straight into this and see what we have. So Robert Hansen by Skynd. Let's have a look.
She was 17, all night lap dancing. I offered her money to possess. Money to possess her body. Handcuffed, I forced her into my saddle and drove out to Malone. Maybe I pulled out the gun to have some fun.
You better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't get found on a frozen ground. Better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't get found on a frozen ground. Off the mountain of Skynd.
That's why they call me the butcher. They call me the butcher baker, yeah. We could do it, but it's gonna cost you some money, yeah. I killed my Annie, was not as lucky as Paulson and Cindy. I broke a mini 14 in hand. A Piper Super Cup up in the sky.
Hunter's game. Knows your name. Make it feel. Hunter's game. No one knows. You better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't get found on a frozen ground. Better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't get found on a frozen ground. Off the mountain of Skynd.
Well, there we go. That was Robert Hansen by Skynd. And as we've all come to expect, another fantastic piece of music by the band. Now, I said at the beginning, I didn't know whether there was going to be a more distorted vocal line in this, or there was going to be more of her clear vocals in this, and it seems to be a sort of even mixture of the two. The main verses of the song are all done in that sort of distorted sound we've come to expect and know from Skynd, but then the chorus comes in with the cleaner, natural singing voice. So it was a nice combination of the two. I think it was a very good balance, I think. Now, for the most part, the lyrics that I have here seem to be fairly accurate. There's one or two things that I think might be a little bit wrong, but I don't know. But for the most part, it's got a pretty clear sort of story behind it, and the video pretty much illustrates exactly what we are looking at as well, although it said that he sort of hunted them down. Now, is that did he kidnap them first, or did he, like, as suggested in the song, did he, like, pay them as prostitutes, and then, because it appears that he sort of released them once he caught them and kidnapped them, he'd then sort of hold them for a few days, then release them into the wilderness and then hunt them down for fun, by the looks of things. That's what it seemed to suggest in the video, and the lyrics even seem to suggest that too. And the video even illustrated the fact that he does appear indeed to be a baker who went on a murdering spree. And it makes sense. So the lyrics I have here say, June 1983, she was 17, all night lap dancing. I offered her money to possess her body. Handcuffed her, forced it into my sedan and drove out to Muldoon. It says here, baby, I pulled the gun out to have fun. Now, I thought she said maybe, but she might have said baby. It's hard to tell. Baby, I pulled out the gun to have fun. And then it goes, you better, and then goes into that chorus. You better run, you better run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't be found on the frozen ground. You better run. You better run. Before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down. Bitch, you won't be found on the frozen ground of the Matanuska Valley. Now, I don't know where the Matanuska Valley is. I'm guessing that's in Alaska. But, so there in the opening sort of verse, it seems to only be talking about one specific victim at this point, June 1983. So this sounds like just before he was caught. This could even possibly be the victim that led him to be caught. I don't know. June 1983, she was 17, all night lap dancing. So this is painting this picture of the victim that he picked up. So she was obviously working in a pole dancing club, strip club, that sort of thing. And he offered her money to possess her body. Now, generally, from what I understand from these establishments, it's a purely look, don't touch thing. These people don't sell their bodies generally, as far as I understand. But, he was like, if I give you some money, can you, give me a bit wink, wink, nudge, nudge sort of thing. So offered her money, and, I mean, in the beginning of the video, she did lean on the car window, suggesting that maybe she was working the street as well, possibly, or maybe just using the word, the fact that she was lap dancing, maybe that's just a roundabout way of saying that she was a prostitute rather than working in a strip club, possibly. I don't know. It says, handcuffed her and forced her into my sedan and drove out to Muldoon. So I don't know where Muldoon is. Again, I'm assuming it's in Alaska. So already he's taken her by force and drove her out to Muldoon. It says, I pulled out the gun to have some fun. So again, this is like the video illustrated, he was chasing her through the woods with a gun, the thrill of the chase, sort of, picking someone up and then giving them the taste of freedom, just to sort of have that almost power of God. It's like, you're mine now. Here, you can go free. But not really, that sort of thing. So, he enjoyed that sort of tease of giving them that false hope that they could get away. And then it goes into that chorus, you better run, you better run, before I hunt you down, better run around, better hunt you down, bitch, you won't be found on the frozen ground. So this Muldoon, wherever it is, must be a quite secluded place. It seemed to be illustrated that way in the video. So he's like, you better run, so go on, run, you're free, go ahead. And then he's saying, run before I hunt you down. So he wants the thrill of the chase, he wants the thrill of the hunt. He's like, you're not going to be found on the frozen ground, where I've taken you, where I'm going to put you, he might have taken the bodies and dumped them elsewhere after killing them, I'm not sure. But yeah, he's like, you're not going to be found. And he says, bitch, you won't be found on the frozen ground of the Matanuska Valley. So I can only assume it's a secluded place. If anybody knows, please let me know. And it goes back into the verses and say, that's why they call me the butcher. They call me the butcher baker, yeah. We could do it, but it's gonna cost you some money, yeah. Eklunta Annie was not so lucky, not as lucky as Paulson's Cindy. A Ruger Mini 14 in hand. A Piper Super Cub up in the sky. Again, that bit I'm not too sure about. So it says there, Ecluta Annie was not so fun. I'm assuming probably Annie Eclunta might be a name of a victim, because it says there Paulson Cindy. I'm guessing was Cindy Paulson, possibly another one of his victims. It says they weren't as lucky. They maybe his MO sort of expanded. With serial killers, their motives tend to evolve. The way they kill people tended to evolve. At one point they might just have them handcuffed in a basement, torture them, sexually assault them, and then kill them. And then he wanted more from it, so it sort of escalated into him kidnapping these people, holding them for a few days, then letting them go, and then hunting them down. So maybe that's, maybe saying, they're not so lucky, they didn't have that taste of freedom, they didn't have the chance you had to get away. So he's going, this is why they call me the Butcher. This is why they call me what they call me, because I murdered these women in this particular fashion. It says we could do it, but it's going to cost you some money. So that seems to be turning the whole sort of thing on its head. It's like, we could have intimate relations, but it's going to cost you. And then she goes on to say, Eclunta Annie was not so lucky, not as lucky as Paulson Cindy. And then goes on, the Ruger Mini 14 in hand, which was the gun that we know that he used. And this bit I don't understand. A Piper Super Cub up in the sky. I'm not sure if that line's accurate. If anybody knows what that could possibly mean, let me know. Then it went into sort of a bridge sort of section. It says, naked fear, you better, hunter's game. You better, no one knows. You better, knows your name. Naked fear, hunter's game, no one knows. Then it goes back into that chorus. You better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around. Better hunt you down, bitch, you won't be found on the frozen ground. You better run, run, run. You better run, run, run. Before I hunt you down, better run around. Better hunt you down, bitch, you won't be found on the ground of the Matanuska Valley. And then at the end of the song, there was sort of a quiet repetition of better run around. Better run around. You won't be found. That sort of repeated quietly throughout the rest of the track. So, once again, they've managed to... It's brilliant how Skynd managed to do this. They managed to illustrate and encapsulate the whole sort of personality and behaviour of these people in the songs that they produce. It's very, very clever. It's very, very well written. And when they release songs, they do release them a fair distance apart. It's normally several months, if not longer, between songs. And I mean, at this point, I think they've released... maybe 12, 13, possibly 14 songs at this point. And I've been covering Skynd from the first track that I looked at. It's got to be over 2 years now. So, they've spread out the release of these tracks quite a bit. So, like I said, I think I said this in the last video, they take their time to make sure that the piece of music that they create and the piece of music they release is perfect. They want to perfectly craft this piece of music to get the information across, to get the story across, and they want to make sure that it makes sense, that it's cohesive. They don't want to just rush out one piece of music after the next, just to try and make money off what they're doing. They want the piece of music to be the best piece of music that they can have, produced. And that's something that I greatly admire about the band, that they take their time to make sure that they put out the best version of what they want to do. So, and I've not heard a bad piece of music by this band. There have been a couple that have maybe not been as good as the others, but they've all been great songs. I've really enjoyed every piece of music I've looked at by this band, and I am very, very much looking forward to seeing them on the 10th. Yeah, I don't know exactly when this video is going to be released, because like I said, I'm recording this video on the day that they've sent it out to the newsletter subscribers, which is several days before they're actually going to officially release the video. Of course, this isn't going to be released until after they've released it. So I don't know when exactly this is going to be released in relation to when I actually get to see them live, and it's something that I'm very, very excited about. So yeah, great piece of music, and I'm hoping they're going to play this track whilst I'm there. And I do know that occasionally they'll play tracks that they haven't released yet when they perform live. So I'll be interested to see what they're like live. I've seen a couple of videos of them live, but you know, to really appreciate it, you have to be there yourself, don't you? And it's been a while since I've been to a live gig, and in fact, it's going to be the first time I'm going to a festival. So yeah, I'm going to be going to Bloodstock next weekend, so there will be a period where I won't be uploading videos, but I will be taking my video camera with me. I will be taking a regular camera with me, so I'll be taking lots of pictures and videos whilst I'm there. I don't know what the internet situation is going to be there. I don't know whether they'll have any internet there, so it might be a while before I upload any of that, but we'll see. But I'll try and document my time at that festival. But anyway, I'm whiffling on about something that's not even related to this video. So yeah, there was something about this song as well. It seemed a little more, well, it seemed a little less chaotic than other songs of theirs. You know, it didn't have as much heavy elements to it. You know, there was obviously some heavy elements in the music, but it seemed a lot sort of calmer. You know, other songs have used sort of loud, bombastic, heavy sounds to sort of illustrate the chaos of the violence that these perpetrators, you know, committed. But this one didn't seem to have as much aggression or violence in the music itself. It seemed a lot calmer. So maybe this might reflect the behaviour of the person himself. You know, maybe he was a very sort of calm, collected person. Maybe he wasn't quite as chaotic and violent. I mean, obviously what he did was quite violent, but you know, maybe there wasn't as much brutality necessarily in what he did. If you understand my meaning, you know. So maybe they're using the music to sort of describe his temperament, because you know, when he was arrested, there's every chance that he could have just been sitting there calm as all hell, you know, not bothered, you know, that sort of thing. That might be what they're trying to illustrate with the music. I don't know, but again, you know, great piece of music, absolutely loved it, fantastic. I do wonder if at any point they're actually going to release an album overall, because I know they released part 1, part 2 and part 3 as, you know, they were like 3-track EPs. So are they going to actually release all of the tracks together in one album? I don't know, because I know that the last several tracks haven't, well, I'm not aware that they've been put out on like 3-track EPs, so I don't know. Maybe they'll get around to releasing a full album at some point, I don't know, but I really hope they do. But either way, I've always enjoyed all of their music to this point, so yeah, bring it on. But yeah, I don't know what else I can say about that, because I am just rambling at this point. So I'll leave that as it is. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribe, because it really would help me out. You know, at the moment, only about 9.5%, maybe 10% of people watching my videos are actually subscribed. And as a result, my videos are just sort of getting lost within the algorithm. You know, I'm putting in the time and effort to record the videos, and I'm editing them and doing what have you. And I'm uploading them and they're just sort of disappearing, you know, because people aren't liking the videos, people aren't subscribing to the videos, you know, and I'm getting messages from people saying, oh, I've just found this video of XYZ song. You know, I've been waiting for you to upload this, and it's like, I uploaded that video 3 months ago and they've only just found it, because it's just disappearing. You know, so if you could like and subscribe, it would really help me out. It'd help my videos get, you know, found easier. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, it takes a fraction of a second, and it really does help. So yeah, there's that. But that's all I've got for you today. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.
You better run.